Hello everyone, welcome back to science classes. In my last module, I had discussed about the respiratory system. In this module, I am going to discuss about the transportation system in human beings. So the learning objectives are, by this module, you will be able to know about the structure of human heart, double circulatory system in human beings, blood and blood vessels, and about lymph. So let's start the circulatory system. First of all, why we are in need of transpiratory system. All living cells have to be provided with nutrients, oxygen and other essential substances. The harmful or waste substances produced have to be removed continuously for healthy functioning of tissues. It is therefore essential to have efficient mechanism for the movement of these substances to the cell and from the cell. In more complex organisms like us, in human beings, some fluid is found for this function. In our body, blood transports food, oxygen, and waste material. So in our body, actually the circulatory system is blood circulatory system. The major part of this system are heart, blood, and blood vessels. Let's start with the heart. The heart is a hollow muscular structure. It is the organ roughly of the size of our clenched fist that contracts regularly and continuously pumps blood to various parts of the body. Its average weight is about 300 grams in males and about 250 grams in females. It is reddish brown in color and somewhat conical in form. The heart is situated between the two lungs in the middle of the thoracic cavity. It is surrounded by a tough two-layered sac that is called pericardium. Now about the structure of the heart. It is divided by the septa in two halves. Two portions are there. This is the right side of the heart and this is the left side of the heart. So septa divides the heart into two halves. Each half consists of two communicating chambers. Upper smaller chamber are called atrium. You can see upper chambers are called atrium. This is right atrium, this is left atrium, and the lower chambers are called ventricle, right ventricle and left ventricle. Thus, the heart has four chambers. The two upper chambers called atria, singular is atrium, and the two lower chambers called left and right ventricles. There are valves are present in between atrium and ventricle. You can see some of the valves, some valves are there. You can see between right atrium and right ventricle, between left atrium and left ventricle, so that blood can flow from one part of the heart to another. And these valves ensure that blood should not be backflow. The blood should not flow in the reverse order. So the valves are found in the heart. Now about the circulation in the human body, how it takes place. So in this slide, some of the numbers are given so that easily you will be able to understand about the circulation. You can see the number 1, which is showing that the blood is coming from the lungs to left atrium through pulmonary vein. This is the only vein which carry pure blood. You can remember, you can connect this with the respiratory system, where we know that in respiratory system, alveoli are found in the lungs, which helps in the gaseous exchange. We inhale oxygen that is found in the alveoli, and so when blood reaches to the lungs, gaseous exchange takes place. Now the blood get oxygenated. This oxygenated blood reaches to the left atrium through pulmonary vein. The left atrium relaxes when it is collecting the blood. Whenever any of the part of the heart collects the blood, it relaxes, and when it loses the blood, then it contracts. Now, when left atrium contracts, the next chamber called left ventricle expand so that the blood transfer to left ventricle from the left atrium. When the muscular left ventricle contracts in its turn, the blood is pumped out in the body. From left ventricle, blood comes to the body. Now, deoxygenated blood comes from the body to the upper chamber of the heart, that is right atrium. Then as it expands, as the right atrium contracts, the concerned lower chamber dilates and the blood moves here from right atrium to right ventricle. Now from right ventricle, the blood reaches to the lungs to get oxygenated through pulmonary artery, which is the only artery which carry impure blood. So thus we can see that the blood circulatory system is double circulatory system in our body. You can understand the circulatory system in an easy manner by this slide. Here I am starting with the body. First of all, the blood is in our body. From body it reaches to the right auricle of the heart, from right auricle to right ventricle, from right ventricle to lungs. This is shown by blue color. So this is deoxygenated blood. In lungs, in the alveoli, gaseous exchange takes place. Blood gets oxygenated. Now this oxygenated blood reaches to the left auricle with the help of pulmonary vein. From left auricle to left ventricle of the heart, and from left ventricle to again body. Thus, 2 times the same amount of blood flows from the heart. So it is known as double circulatory system. So two systemic and pulmonary circulations are found there. In systemic circulation, the pure blood is pumped by the left ventricle to the other parts of the body and comes back to the heart at right auricle. Means it is the circulation system which is found between the body and heart. And the pulmonary circulation, pulmonary term is used for lungs. So it is the circulation in which the blood from the right ventricle is pumped to the lungs for purification and comes back to the heart at the left auricle. So it is the circulation between the heart and lungs. You can understand very well this by this slide. In this slide, you can see the pulmonary circulation and systemic circulation. The pulmonary circulation is from right ventricle, blood reaches to the lungs to get deoxygenated and again comes back into the left auricle. So this is pulmonary circuit. And in the systemic circuit, the blood from the left ventricle reaches to the body and from body to right atrium. Okay. So thus the pulmonary circuit includes heart and lungs, and the systemic circuit includes heart and body. Now we can differentiate auricles versus ventricle. Before this, I just want to tell you that double circulatory system is needed in mammals and in aves, which are warm-blooded animals, as we are in need of efficient supply of oxygen. And double circulatory system allows the efficient supply of oxygen in our body because of the 4 chambers and double circulatory system. Oxygenated and deoxygenated blood does not get mixed. So they provide efficient supply of oxygen. Now differentiate auricle and ventricles. Auricles are the upper chambers and ventricles are the lower chambers. Auricles are less muscular as they receive the blood, whereas ventricles are more muscular as they have to push the blood out from the heart. We have seen in the previous slide that ventricles, you can see that right ventricle is sending the blood to the right ventricle is sending the blood to the lungs, and the left ventricle is sending the blood to the body. So ventricle pushes the blood out from the heart so that their wall should be muscular. Now next is blood vessels. As we know that the major components of the circulatory system are heart, blood and blood vessels. So we are going to discuss about blood vessels. Arteries and veins are the main blood vessels. Arteries are the vessel which carry blood from the heart to various organs of the body. Except we can say they always carry oxygenated blood except pulmonary artery. And veins, they collect the blood from different organs and bring it back to the heart. Except pulmonary vein, all the other veins carry impure blood. Now capillaries, the veins and the arteries, they divide into smaller arterioles and venules respectively. So the arterioles and venules further divide into thin walled vessels called capillaries. Here you can see capillaries. This is the connection between the artery and the vein. In this slide also you can differentiate arteries and vein. Artery carry oxygenated blood, vein carry deoxygenated blood. In artery the blood is normally bright, in veins it is dark red. Arteries are elastic as they receive the blood from the heart with a great pressure, whereas veins send the blood to the heart, so they are less elastic. Now the next component is the blood. Blood is a red colored liquid which circulates in our body. Blood is red because it contains hemoglobin. It is a pigment which is of red color, which gives the blood red color. So blood is a fluid connective tissue. It consists of four things: plasma, in which different corpuscles are suspended, which are RBC, WBC and platelets. The plasma is the liquid part of, or we can say the fluid part of the blood. It is colorless liquid which consists mainly of water with many substances dissolved in it, and some of the corpuscles are also found in it. So the major corpuscles are RBC, WBC and platelets. I am going to discuss first with RBC. Red blood cells are red in color due to the presence of a red pigment called hemoglobin inside them. Red blood cells are carriers of oxygen. Red blood cells carry oxygen from the lungs to all the cells of the body. So the basic or major function of the RBC, which is also known as erythrocyte, is to carry oxygen throughout the body. It occurs with the help of hemoglobin. Now the white blood cells. White blood cells are also known as leukocytes. White blood cells fight infection and protect us from diseases. This is because white blood cells help to fight against germs and other foreign bodies which cause disease. So white blood cells are known as soldiers of our body. Now the next one is platelets. Platelets help in the coagulation of blood, means clotting of the blood in a cut or wound. For example, when a cut or wound starts bleeding, then platelets help clot the blood, make the blood semi-solid, so further bleeding stops. Now the functions of the blood. Basically all the functions of the blood corpuscles are included in the functions of the blood. So blood helps in the transportation of oxygen, carbon dioxide. It also helps in the transportation of digested food, hormones, waste products like urea. As WBC or lymphocytes are there, they protect us from different infections. Blood also regulates our body temperature. Now, the next slide is about lymph. Lymph is the another transpiratory system of our body. Actually, it is the lymphatic system. Lymphatic system consists of lymph, lymph capillaries, lymph vessels, lymph nodes, that all are beyond your syllabus. In your syllabus, only lymph is given. So, I am going to discuss about lymph. Lymph is a light yellow colored mobile fluid connective tissue which drains into the lymphatic capillaries from the intercellular spaces, so that it is also known as intracellular fluid. Now, how it forms? Through the pores present in the walls of capillaries, some amount of plasma, protein and blood cell escape into intracellular spaces and they form lymph. The major function of the lymph is, as it contains lymphocytes, white blood cells, so it protects us from different infections, and it carries digestive and absorbed fat from intestine and brings excess fluid back to the blood, so that it maintains the amount of water in our body. Now, this is the slide about the differences between blood and lymph. Many times this question has been asked in the boards. What are the differences between blood and lymph? Blood is red in color due to the presence of hemoglobin, whereas lymph is pale yellow. In blood, red blood cells are present. In lymph, red blood cells are absent. Blood flows bidirectionally, means heart to tissue and tissue to heart in both direction, but lymph flow unidirectional. Flow of the blood is rapid, it is fast, whereas lymph slowly flows. Blood in platelets are present, whereas in lymph platelets are absent. Thus, we can differentiate blood and lymph. Now, thanks for watching.